it for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur.
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Stanley pour les Canadiens, le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Vida Tibi. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Marinaro, the Sick Podcast, weeknights at 10 p.m. Thank you for being here. Some Montreal Canadiens players on the ice earlier this morning in Brossard. And you know what? This has been going on for quite some time. Like shortly after the Canadiens were eliminated by the Washington Capitals, I mean, the players left. They went back to their hometowns and stuff like that. Most of them did. Some of them took a vacation, went here, there, and everywhere. But they got back to action right away. And most of them got back to Brossard, started skating solitaire. Then all of a sudden, 1 became 3, 3 became 5, 5 became 7, 7 became 10. And the Canadiens have had their development coach Adam Nicholas, who's been with the players, whether it's in Brossard, whether it was at Westmount Arena. They practiced in different arenas, but they've been in Brossard now for quite some time. And earlier this morning, there were a bunch of players that were there. Nick Suzuki was there, and Joe Veleno was there, and Noah Dobson was there, and Lane Hutson was there, and Ivan Demidov, of course, was there. And speaking of players for Suzuki and Dobson that were there, they won't be there tomorrow night because they're leaving tomorrow. They'll be with members of Hockey Canada and, of course, the players that they invited to their 2026 Hockey Canada Olympic camp, which is going to take place in Alberta. The Montreal Canadiens will have 3 representatives at that camp. Captain Nick Suzuki of the Montreal Canadiens, of course, Noah Dobson, and Samuel Montembeault. But the big story this morning, because over the last couple of weeks, there's been some discussion as to where Kirby Dach stands with his rehabilitation. Maxime Truman of Dans les Coulisses said, hey, you know what? Based on what he's hearing, don't be surprised if Kirby Dach does not start the year with the Montreal Canadiens, as he may have suffered a setback vis-a-vis maybe the timeline that the Montreal Canadiens had given about a year ago or 6 months ago when he got hurt. And then Eric Engels said, well, I'm not so sure about that. I think that it's actually going pretty well. And then a couple of days ago, it was Kent Hughes, general manager of the Montreal Canadiens, who told members of the media, actually told NHL.com, he said, hey, listen, we don't know if Kirby's going to start the season with us, but if he doesn't, I mean, it'll just be a couple of weeks, or it's looking that way. Anyway, guess who was on the ice earlier this morning? We'll take a look at a video, the first images of Kirby Dach on the ice. Video number 1, if we have it. And there you have it. Kirby Dach jumps onto the ice. Some members of the media were there. Stu Cowan of the Montreal Gazette and Hockey Inside Out was one of those members of the media. I know that RDS had a camera. I believe TVA Sports had a camera as well. And also there, a gentleman that we haven't talked about. We've talked about him actually on this program from time to time, but it's Marc-Olivier Cook of Dans les Coulisses, but he joins us for the very first time. Marc-Olivier, how are you?
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. What I like about Marc-Olivier is that he gets his hands on a lot of footage. So he's one of those guys where, most members of the media, like the traditional, they're there. But when they're not there, Marc-Olivier is there, right? And he'll get you some footage that they have missed out on. And we're going to take a look at some of that footage today that they got and he got as well. The Sick Podcast is brought to you in part by Playground. And if you haven't really played poker up until you've played at Playground, well, it's voted fan choice. You haven't really played poker until you played at a place like that, because the first time I saw their poker room, I was like, wow, this is really, really nice. And then I was told from avid players, they said, you know what, this is the nicest poker room in Canada. And then I said to myself, you know what, kind of makes sense, because pretty hard to beat a poker room that looks like that. It's actually voted Fan Choice Best Poker Room at the 2025 Global Poker Awards. Enjoy free drinks at every table, free food at all cash game tables, daily tournaments, biggest events in the game, like the World Poker Tour and the World Series of Poker Circuit. Don't miss your shot at the world record Bad Beat Jackpot, now closing in at $1 million just minutes. From downtown Montreal across the Mercier Bridge, this is Playground. Also brought to you in part by Bittt, the Tibi. They launched their new Ultra Lager, refreshing, thirst-quenching beer, perfect for the summer with only 90 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 4% ABV per can, available in a pack of 6 and 12 in grocery stores all around the province of Quebec. Ultra light, ultra refreshing. Marc-Olivier, back to you. We're going to get to many Kirby Dach clips over the next 15 or 20 minutes or half an hour here of our conversation. But your first thoughts when you saw him jump on the ice, was it a little bit of a surprise to you after everything we've heard in the last couple of weeks?
Clearly, Tony, it was a surprise. I was really happy to see him today. I've been to Brossard a couple of times this summer, but I was excited to see Kirby. I mean, he has the tools to be one of the important pieces for the Montreal Canadiens for years to come, but we know what's the problem, and it's his health. But I was really, really, really happy to see him today. He looked a bit... How can I say? He looked a bit maybe rusty from time to times, but he doesn't. He didn't seem really, really, really so far from being not top shape, but
yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things that will give us a real good indication about how far along he is in his rehabilitation is in a straight line how fast he's going, right? If he's going really, really fast, well, then he's very comfortable doing that. And we know that, he's almost arrived, if not ready to go. At any point, did you see him go fast?
Not really.
Yeah.
He wasn't like... It wasn't like he wasn't putting any effort or somehow, but he wasn't going all out either. I think he was being a little bit protective, maybe. I don't think he was hurt, really, really, really hurt, but I don't think he was 100% comfortable either.
And that's the big thing, right, is being protective of that knee. And a lot of it, of course, is psychological. It's mental, right? You talk to any players who have had one knee surgery like that, a torn ACL, let alone two in a short amount of time within a couple of years. And if you have one, you're kind of skeptical, you're kind of tentative. You don't play with the same reckless abandon. You probably try and pick your spots a little bit more. You try and play a little bit more smart. You probably try and spend less time in traffic. Obviously, it's a worry. It's a concern. And it's a mental thing, right? It's a mental thing. So, most people say, actually, experts say that if you have two of those injuries, you know what? There's a big percentage that says that it's going to be difficult for you. So, for me, I think that was the turning. Like last year, we all remember that at his first 25 games, I think he struggled, right? Mm-hmm. And I think you could tell he was struggling with the mental part of the game, like, going in that traffic and wanting to get his nose dirty. And the second thing, he was struggling, I think, with his game shape. And I think we found out, at one point during the season that he rehabbed the knee, yes. But once you rehab the knee, after you have to condition the body, of course, and you have to get in shape. And that's something that maybe he didn't do as well as he should have, considering that the focus was on rehabilitating the knee. And his game shape was okay. We'll find out pretty soon, I would imagine, as to what the game shape's going to look like.
Yeah, exactly. Well, camp's going to be starting in a couple of weeks. Is he going to be 100% ready for the camp? I don't think so. I think he's going to play maybe a couple of exhibition games, and we'll hope for the best for the start of the season. I really, really want him to be ready. It's been a long time since we've seen the real Kirby Dach, but you said it. Two major injuries like that, it could break a player. And he has to be confident. He wasn't last year, and it's difficult to believe that he's going to be really, really confident at the camp after missing so much time again.
Now, there's a clip because we're going to tell everyone right now, and Marc-Olivier, I think you could tell everyone, that as the practice went on, he looked better and better as it went on.
Absolutely. He looked more comfortable. He was finding his game, finding his mobility. But like I said in my tweet, it wasn't perfect, but nobody wished it was perfect right now. We know it's not perfect, but he didn't look so far either.
Now, here's a clip that'll actually give you an idea of just how rusty he looked at the beginning of practice. Let's take a look at Kirby Dach at his most rusty. Here he comes. Loses the puck.
You see, like he's not turning really, really, really fast either.
No, he's not turning really, really fast. And once again, you'll see the pass is okay. Yeah, no problem. But when he goes to stick handle the puck, you're going to see, and when he goes to control the puck, you're going to see that there is some rust. Right there again. See, unable to control that puck and stop that puck. It bounces off his stick. And it was at the beginning, it was not clean. There again, just handles the puck and just goes off his stick.
It doesn't look like an NHL player on the clip.
Well, on this clip, it looks like a very rusty player like you just talked about, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So now you said something like, and once again, Kent Hughes said, probably won't be ready for the start of camp. The golf tournament will be on Monday, September 15th. The Canadiens' first day will be on Wednesday, the 17th of September. They will have some preseason games starting on the 22nd of September. Now, if he's not ready to start camp, if he's not on the ice on the 17th, or he's not wearing a contact jersey on the 17th, I'd be willing to bet at that point that he's probably not going to play on the 22nd or 23rd, Marc-Olivier.
No, I agree with you 100%.
There will be other exhibition games. So once again, the 22nd versus Pittsburgh, the 23rd versus the Flyers, the 25th versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, the 27th on the road in Toronto, the 30th in Ottawa, and that's for the month of September. And then when you go to the month of October, of course, in the month of October, there's going to be one preseason game in Ottawa. No, pardon me, in Montreal versus Ottawa on the 4th of October. And then the Canadiens will open up their season on the 8th of October. It's a Wednesday night in Toronto. We talked about him picking it up, though, and getting better as the practice went on. Here's a sequence right after some of that rustiness, probably 10, 15 minutes after that, where it starts to look more comfortable for Kirby Dach. Let's get to it. There you go. The stick handling's better. The puck control is better. The reception of the pass is better. The movements are better. Skate the stick.
He was a little bit more aggressive with his turns.
All right.
That okay. I like to see, honestly.
The skating, like you said, he didn't go all out. We saw it. Nor would it be recommended to do so.
Exactly.
Those were the moments that you saw where, of course, it was rusty. It got a little bit better. Your thoughts as to what's on the line for Kirby Dach here? Like, if you look into your crystal ball, how patient or not do you think the management team and or coaching staff will be with Kirby Dach? Like, in your opinion, does he start off as the second line centerman for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, I think he has to earn it, Tony. I think he has to earn it, and I think
but has anyone else earned it? Let's just say he's not ready, okay? Let's say he's not ready.
Go.
Okay, let's say he is ready.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone else earned it?
No.
Is he not in pole position?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you'd be in pole position.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he's not ready.
Yeah.
Who do you see getting an opportunity, probably between Laine and Demidov?
I would like to see Zach Bolduc have that chance.
Wow. So you're taking a player who hasn't played center in about, what, I think it's minimum 3 years?
Minimum. It was his last year in junior with the Remparts of Quebec.
So he hasn't played center in 3 years, minimum. Coming over in a trade, and you're taking him, putting him at center in a position that you would think he's less comfortable with, in the pressure cooker that is Montreal, and making him the second line center of the much coveted, much storied Montreal Canadiens. Oof.
You want to see how I see it?
Tell me.
We saw last year, it can't work with Alex Newhook. It can't. Impossible. Newhook has the speed. He has the abilities to be a good centerman, but a third centerman, in my opinion.
You think he's more of a centerman or a winger?
I think he's more of a winger.
You think he's more of a winger?
Mm-hmm. And the other candidate is Jake Evans. But
I like when he carries the puck, if I can, on the power play. Like, he carries it the way Scott Gomez used to carry it. Remember, he's got a good entry plan. He carries it with speed.
Yeah.
When you see Newhook on the power play, you say he's a centerman. When you don't see him on the power play, more often than not, you think he's a winger.
Exactly. It's a fair explanation.
Yeah. But
like I was about to say, I want Jake Evans on my bottom six. I don't want him on my top six. So the only candidate left, in my opinion, is Zach Bolduc.
You've discounted Veleno and Kapanen, obviously.
Obviously.
Why?
Obviously. Well, Veleno hasn't produced the way we wanted to see him since he made his NHL debut. And
what if he has an amazing camp?
He has not. It's not an amazing camp. It's an amazing camp. Maybe. Why not? And Kapanen doesn't.
I don't think it's crazy to think that. Let's just say it takes Doc a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That for a couple of weeks, Veleno can do the job between Laine and Demidov. I don't think it's crazy to think that he could for a couple of weeks.
You don't think it's crazy?
I don't think it's crazy to think that he can't do it for a couple of weeks. I understand the skepticism, of people saying he can't be a second-line centerman all year. Like, for example, last year, at one point, when Doc was hurt, we saw Jake Evans step in, and at times it looked like he did a decent job of being a second-line centerman. We know he's not, but at times he did not look out of place. I think Veleno can give that as well. But
listen, Tony, it would not be crazy, but we have to be on the same page. It wouldn't be ideal either.
No, it wouldn't be ideal. Obviously not. But a lot of people, there's some people in the hockey world that think that even with Kirby Dach back, and he should even be healthy, it's not ideal either. I mean, Travis Yost and if all goes well, I'll get him on the podcast here. I think he came out with a depth chart of NHL teams, and at the center position, I think there were like five groups. With one obviously being the best, and I think five being the least efficient. And I think the Canadiens were in tier 5, if memory serves me well.
Well, it's not a surprise. There's that piece missing, the 2C slot.
That's a big piece missing, considering that some teams have 3 Cs, and some teams their third C is superior to the Canadian second C. Absolutely. Now the Canadiens have their strengths, of course. The Canadiens have good young talent. Good young talent. They have a core group under 25 that not too many teams in the National Hockey League have. They have I think some elements in place to have a pretty good power play over the next year. So now talk to me about Kirby Dach, because as we showed him on the ice. We showed him at his most rusty. We showed him picking it up. There was an area where I thought he looked really comfortable, was when he put himself behind the net. Let's see if we can see the images. Well, there he comes out in front of the net, picks up his man, ties up his stick. Now he goes back behind the net. He's wearing the red jersey. Picks up a pass in the back, controls it well, spins, turns, feeds the player in front, who ends up scoring on a second effort.
Yep.
Kirby Dach looked really good behind that net. Like when he set up office behind the net, looked really good.
Absolutely. Well, he has the vision, Tony. He has the skill set. He can pass the puck. And he always been like that since he was in junior. I think last year it was a little bit more difficult because he was looking for his game. And every single time that you look for your game, you try to do too much. But if Kirby can spot his spot on the ice and dominate in that spot, he's going to help the Montreal Canadiens. And if that spot is behind the net, playing with a guy like Demidov, who can be all around, and Laine, who can be somewhere and just shoot the puck whenever he wants, it could be dangerous.
If Dach returns at 100% and shows us the best version of himself that we've only seen a flash here and a flash there, are you convinced that he has what it takes to be able to center and perform well in between Laine and Demidov?
200%.
Why?
Because he has all the tool set. He's big. He look, his skate is not very great. Great.
Do you think he has the vision?
Oh, hell yeah.
On the same level as those guys?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Really? Yeah?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
always questioned his hockey IQ. Like he has very, very soft hands. Like I think of Jason Allison had soft hands.
Absolutely.
Right? He had soft hands, and every now and then, and now the comparable will be big. But sometimes when I watch Kirby Dach play, I kind of see a little bit of Jeff Carter, okay? When Kirby Dach is at his best, because Jeff Carter was obviously a fine hockey player. But you talked about his skating. His skating, I question. His game on 200 feet, I question. And his hockey IQ, I question. Like today, end of August here, 2025, I am not sold on Kirby Dach being a top 2 centerman in the National Hockey League. And if he turns it around, he proves me wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, and I'll be happy to say it. But I can't say that I'm sold. I see him being more comfortable on the wing thus far than I do being at center.
But do you think he's a top 6 talent?
Yes.
Okay.
Wouldn't have been drafted 3rd overall if he wasn't.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I definitely think as a matter of fact, somebody threw out a question. We discussed it a couple of days ago of somebody threw out a question. If your shootout was 5 shooters, who would you choose, right? And everyone would choose Suzuki. Everyone would choose Caulfield. Everyone would choose Demidov. And I think everyone would choose Laine. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's our 4.
No, you're right.
Okay. Now, for the 5th one, there's Slavkovsky to choose from. There's Brendan Gallagher, who scored goals, whether people think he's on the decline or not. He's coming off a 21-goal season. There's Zachary Bolduc, who scored 19 goals last year.
Let's go. Lane Hutson.
There's Lane Hutson, who we've seen in a shootout from time to time. But I said Dach. Like, I think Dach in close, he's good. And by the way, here's an example. If we can see him finishing in close. Here's an image earlier today. Right there you have it. More and more comfortable stick handling. Receives a puck. There you go. Head up. Boom. Quick shot. Short side. There you go.
Yeah,
he's comfortable. He's comfortable in close, and he has a very, very quick release.
Absolutely. He has a very, very nice shot. But he's big, Tony. He's a big guy who can shoot the puck.
But is he a good center when he's at his best because he's a good center? Or do you give him something because he has that size, that 6'3.5", that 215 plus frame?
Yeah.
Is that what maybe is making you think that he is a very good centerman? Because once again, I said, I have some doubts about certain things. I see him more as a winger. You see him more as a centerman than a winger?
I would say 50-50. I mean, if he plays on the line at center with Demidov on his side, I'm not really anxious about that. If it wasn't with Demidov, we saw last year, it didn't work completely perfectly. But with Demidov on his side, I think he can do anything.
Sick Podcast brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group, a leading full-service logistics provider serving all of North America. They are driven to be different. Also, the Sick Podcast is brought to you by Accent Insurance Solutions. You know, all insurance isn't created equal, and you know where to find the right solution for you. It's Accent Insurance. Accent doesn't sell insurance. They shop it for you to find the right product right on the money. Whatever your insurance needs, whether it's home, automobile, or business, you can visit their website at www.accentassurance.com. You can call them, jot down this number, call them tomorrow at 514-363-3636. Betway, if you want to get in on the action on any sport, Once again, any sport, you can scan the QR code. You can go all the way with Betway and get a free bet up to $200. Your first bet loses. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section to create an account. Redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. Offers not available in Ontario. Must be 18 years old and over, and please play responsibly. I asked you, is Kirby Dach a better centerman or a winger? You said 50-50. I'm going to ask you now because you brought up his name. Is Zach Bolduc, in your opinion, a better centerman or a winger?
Winger.
So he's a better winger?
Yeah.
But you want him at center should Dach not be ready to start the season because you think Bolduc would be so much better than at that point than Evans, Veleno, and Newhook.
I think the qualities of a guy like Bolduc, who can forecheck, who can be physical, could benefit the skills of a guy like Demidov, who can be all around on the ice and do pretty much what he wants with the puck.
But why would I take a guy, just for the sake of discussion here, Marc-Olivier, and I'm loving this conversation. Why would I take a guy out of his strengths to move him to something that's not like, why would I, why would I take the waiter and make him a bartender, or take the bartender and make him a waiter?
No, I hear you. But
even though he's done it before, 3-4 years ago.
No, I hear you. But I mean, there's no one better. No, not no one better, but like, il y a personne d'autre en ce moment.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't work with Newhook. I don't want Evans on the top 6. Maybe Veleno. Maybe if he has a really, really amazing camp. But I would give the chance to Bolduc. He's here in Montreal for a long term. He can help the Canadiens for a long term. And why not give him the chance to prove himself at center on a line with two really good players in Patrick Laine and Ivan Demidov?
I hear you.
I was about to say, with the qualities of Bolduc, who can forecheck, who can hit, with Demidov, who can do whatever, he can pass, he can shoot. If we leave Laine alone on the ice, you know, Tony, how much he can be dangerous. I think Bolduc can create a lot of space for those two guys.
Let's take a look at images of Bolduc on the ice earlier today in Brossard. There you have it.
He's big, eh, Tony?
He's big, eh?
Oh, uh-huh.
Talk to me about big. He's slightly over 6'1". What is he? He's wide, he's thick.
He's wide, he's thick. He looks heavy. I know he's only about 205, 210, I think, but he looks heavy. He looks dangerous out there, honestly. I wouldn't be happy to see him going full speed at me. No, hell no.
Pierre Maguire said at one point on the show, I think he said he'd like to see a line of Evans, Bolduc, and Anderson, with Bolduc and Anderson being basically bulldozers for the Montreal Canadiens and being a forechecking machine line.
I don't hate that. But I don't hate that. The only but, I think Bolduc deserves to have an offensive chance. And with a guy like Evans and Anderson has a little bit of difficulties to finish. We know that.
Yeah.
Evans doesn't have the biggest upside offensively. I think it would more be profitable for Bolduc to play on an offensive line. But
probably with Alex Newhook on a third line.
Probably.
But the big question would be, is someone going to center that line, or is it going to be Newhook, or is it, let's just say you have Evans with Anderson and Gallagher at that point, because Anderson and Gallagher were together on a line with Christian Dvorak last year. Jake Evans lost his two wingers. He had Heineman and he had Armia. So I think what makes sense is to take Evans and put him where Dvorak was. You still keep Gallagher and Anderson together. But you know what? We say the third, but that could be a fourth line, because the third line could be a line of Joe Veleno or Oliver Kapanen centering Alex Newhook and Zachary Bolduc.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to play itself out at camp, but I have a feeling that this year, once again, last year, the first line was intact pretty much the entire season. I think this year that'll be the case as well. But you're going to see a lot of guys playing with a lot of guys, because I think they're starting to get some depth at the forward position that they can start interchanging a couple of parts, and it could be interesting.
Yeah, well, you have to try some things. We have since a long time, the Montreal Canadiens, they have depth. They have a lot of talent in that line.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talent, Tony, on the wings, especially. We talked about it earlier on the center side. It's not that great. But on the wings, the Canadiens have a solid team.
Bolduc finished really strong. He finished really strong and scored a lot of goals. What was it? I think he scored 13 or 14 in the last 19 games of the season, something like that. Like after the Four Nations face-off, he was absolutely on fire for the St. Louis Blues. He's a big reason why they actually made the playoffs, got in. And by the way, we all recall on how they got eliminated by the Winnipeg Jets. It was absolutely crazy, that series. But you talked about his forechecking. You talked about his size. What else stands out with this player that you think could be a real weapon for him?
His wrist shot, Tony. His wrist shot is unbelievable. I don't know if it's a hot take. I think so. But his wrist shot is as good or maybe even better than Liney's wrist shot. I think so.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. I swear.
Patrick Laine.
Oh, I know.
Carries a heavy wrist shot.
I know.
Like Liney's wrist shot is it probably competes with some other player's slap shot.
Probably.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm. But
Bolduc, is it heavy or fast?
Both. That's what I like.
So
and that's why I think he was being so good at the bumper position in St. Louis.
You're thinking this guy's going to score over 20 goals with the Canadiens this season?
If it's not 20, it's not 18 or 19 minimum. I wouldn't be scared to see him jump at 25.
Marc-Olivier Cook, before we let you go, seeing as I have you here, it was a big topic of conversation in the last week or so. It still is. I had the information back on the 1st of August that Lane Hutson would not be on the U.S. Olympic camp list. And 18 days later, the list comes out and he's not on it. And of course, everyone's trying to justify why he's not on it. And I'm even getting voicemails, text messages from friends and whatever. He's not on it because they already have that kind of defenseman. And, but listen, there's other defensemen that are on that list that they already have that kind of defenseman too on that list. So I'm not so sure by the argument. Your thoughts on him not being on that list? And you think ultimately, when the States do go to the Olympics in February 2026, that Lane Hutson will be there? It would be a long shot considering that he's not on the list. But obviously, if he gets off to a great start, they can definitely name him.
I think, not to be biased, I think it's not fair for a guy like Lane Hutson not to be invited. He just won the Calder. He had 66 points in his first full season in the NHL. He was one of the best offensive defensemen in the NHL in his first full season. I don't think it's fair, but when you see the list of players, there's some really, really, really good defensemen on that list. Really good. And there's 7 who makes the club.
I know, but how many, off the top of your head, just for fun here, how many defensemen you think in the National Hockey League are better than Lane Hutson?
Offensively or both, if you combine everything?
Just combine everything.
Well, Makar.
Just give me a number. You don't have to go through it. How many in the whole league?
10, 12?
Okay, 14? So let's just say there's
10, 14.
Okay, let's just say there's 14 defensemen in the National Hockey League that are better than Lane Hutson.
Mm-hmm.
How can 16 Americans be invited to camp before him?
You're right. You're right.
I think I am. I'll talk to you soon. I thank you very much for doing this. I think it was the first time for you on the Sick Podcast, eh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. It's not going to be the last.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. He's Marc-Olivier Cook of Dans les Coulisses, one of my favorite websites. Thanks for all your help today. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, Tony.
All right. The Sick Podcast is brought to you in part by Betway, by Accent Insurance Solutions, by Bittt Tibi, by Playground and by Energy Transportation Group. If you like the podcast tonight, leave us a 5-star review. It's our way of feeling the love. And once again, the Sick Podcast goes weeknights at 10 p.m., of course, on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can listen to it on all social media platforms. For Shane Gaumont and Master Control, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Marinaro.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different. LaVie.tv, embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.